At the centre of Scotland's largest city lies its beating heart. Glasgow Central Station is the transport hub that connects all our communities, with trains running from platforms both above and below ground. Up on the concourse, staff take on the daily challenge of keeping the whole nation moving, coping with delays.
Well, 1908's been cancelled. We're going to lose our special just at a time when we need it.
Crowds.
That's the queue halfway down Hope Street.
Coming down. Come on, guys, hurry up!
And everything a busy station can throw at them.
This is the biggest tour I've ever done. Come on, gather round.
While in the tunnels beneath, an army of engineers are about to take on one of the biggest renovations this railway has ever seen.
The last time the Argyll lines were closed, I wasn't even born.
This is going to be manic for 8 weeks, 24/7.
It is indeed the moment of truth. Flags are going to fly.
As new faces join the central team, they must all work together.
If we could pull this off, it's got to be absolutely brilliant.
To keep the trains on track and ensure that everyone reaches their destination safely. Spring has sprung at Glasgow Central Station. It's the season of new beginnings and the sun is shining. This Easter bank holiday weekend will see Central Station welcome shoppers, day trippers and thousands of football fans. And the station staff have got strict plans in place to keep all their passengers safe.
Yeah, it's a really busy weekend coming up. It's Easter weekend, probably a busy Easter than we've seen in the past few years, just because things are back to normal. But we've also got the semi-finals at Hampden, where Hearts and Hibs playing Saturday and Celtic versus Rangers on the Sunday. Going to be huge.
It's 2 hours before kick-off and the station is ready for the crowds.
This is a quiet period. You'll probably find like an hour or so before the game that everybody will start turning up. So that's when it can get quite manic.
Around 90,000 fans are expected at Hampden over the weekend. With thousands of them travelling by rail, they'll be closely monitored from 10 miles away by staff at the CCTV centre in Paisley. With feeds from almost 5,000 cameras, they're looking for unsafe or dangerous behaviour. Karina is managing the early shift.
Since 7 o'clock this morning, we have seen people coming with their various football colours in, and it just, you can feel it, it just starts to get busier and busier, ramps up. We're going to have that combination of holidays, football, people who want to go out shopping, people who've got the next couple of days off work. So the whole weekend, we would expect to be busy and busier if the sun makes an appearance.
Working alongside Karina is Mark, who's on the announcer's desk.
Everywhere from down in Gretna up as far as Alloa, that voice that you hear at the station will come from this desk. So it's a busy old time. Once again, stand well behind the yellow line all times within the station area. It's just trying to be as vigilant as you possibly can, making sure that people realise that they are being watched.
And while scanning the cameras, Mark has spotted some potentially lethal behaviour among the football fans.
Please note the flying of flags or banners is not allowed in station areas. Once again, this is for your own safety and that of others. And it's to make sure there's nothing coming too close to the overhead lines. The electricity will act to find its closest route to earth, and if that is through a flagpole and through you, it doesn't end well for anybody.
And as kick-off approaches, the team continue to monitor passengers at over 200 stations across the network.
Keeping people safe, it's what keeps people coming back to the railway. That return custom, it's going to be what builds us back up again, hopefully.
And to avoid any incidents at Central Station, the staff have a plan to separate the rival fans.
We tend to segregate at Glasgow Central, and that's simply because it's a small time frame where the fans might be in the station and holding people in a queue area, you know, that's quite confined. If people have had a couple of drinks before it, sometimes you can see, you know, a wee bit antisocial behaviour.
He's getting out here, turn left and queue up Carriage Drive. Every train on that queuing system's going to Mount Florida.
Hearts fans are queuing up Carriage Drive for onward travel to Mount Florida, while Hibs fans are directed to queue on the concourse for travel to Kings Park. Both stations are just a short walk to Hampden Park. Managing the Hibs queue is Shift Station Supervisor Jack.
It's starting to pick up now. So we're going to open the queuing system at the other end and snake all the fans up and down just to create more space. So I just radioed my colleague here to make sure that that was getting done.
But the separate queues don't work for everyone.
Hands across the divide.
Absolutely. We're a bit disappointed though, we have to get on separate trains to get to the gate.
So that was a lady who was a Hibs fan and her partner's a Hearts fan. So they're wondering if they could be in the same queue together. But obviously I did say to them if they've got any regalia on or anything like that to take it off if that's something that they were going to do.
Scotty, tuck my scarf in my pocket.
We'll have to put our scarves away, but I think we will be allowed to still hopefully get on the same train and then...
we're not heat famous, so we're all right.
So we're relatively sensible.
In addition to the regular train service, there are 22 special services which have been put on specifically for the use of football fans.
11 minutes past, it'll be, I check my handy paperwork here, it'll be 11:11, it's a special service and it'll be on platform 6 right there.
It's an hour before kick-off and the queue of Hearts fans is building up on Carriage Driveway. But Central Station stalwart John won't let any fans onto the platforms until their trains are ready to depart.
The worst thing you can have is two queues in the middle of the station where they're facing each other. That then becomes a clash point. So that's why you segregate them.
The Hearts fans have now been queuing for 30 minutes and they're getting restless. But as soon as their train is ready, John only has a few minutes to board 600 fans before the Hibs train has to leave too.
Right, guys, straight through the gate. Straight through. Side, guys, over there. Over there. Keep moving through. Right. In front of that train there, right up the very front.
One of the jumbos.
With the platform clear of Hearts fans, Jack can now release the Hibs queue.
Right, let's do this then. Right, folks. Number 8. Straight ahead. Yeah. We're nearly there, so kick off at 15:15, and then as you can see there's basically no fans left in the station. You obviously get a few stragglers, but the hard part's done now.
The segregated queues have been used for decades, but in the past, fans queued in a tunnel hidden beneath the platforms. The football tunnel was used for crowd management from the 1920s up until the late 90s.
The original purpose for the football tunnels was to keep the supporters of the various teams, rival supporters in particular, keep them separate, bring them into the station in a proper manner and just really know of any fighting, any trouble.
Station historian Paul is meeting with local football fan Douglas. He remembers being in the football tunnel as a young boy in the 1960s.
Douglas, coming down the football tunnel stairs there, it must bring back quite a lot of memories to yourself about this area. What can you tell me? What comes to mind first then?
Going to a football match, and under normal circumstances we came in through the main doorway, but on this particular occasion, for some reason, we ended up coming up the stairs and through the tunnels here, not really knowing where we were going, never having been here, and we had a certain trepidation and
What game was that?
I suppose it was probably a Rangers-Celtic match.
Right, right.
In the late 60s. When I was still a schoolboy, a long time ago.
Well, that was always the plan in Central, that if there was say, Scottish Cup final, Celtic playing Rangers, we kept the two sets of supporters separate. You would have come down Hope Street and the other supporters were brought into the centre of the station itself. You come up those stairs there, platform 9 and 10, onto the trains for the outer or inner circle service and on to Hampden Park.
By the 1960s, Hampden had a capacity of 135,000. And for each match, thousands of fans would use the football tunnel.
So can you remember the huge crowds that came through here and up the stairs?
Yeah,
was it jam-packed?
It was, but we were all kept moving. That you weren't supposed to stop or anything like that. We weren't quite sure where we were going. We were getting funneled somewhere, and it was just the police were saying, "This is the way you guys go," and you go.
The football tunnel has kept fans safe for generations. But when crowds aren't safely managed, it can have devastating consequences, as Douglas knows too well.
I'm a bit more anxious these days. I get involved in Ibrox disaster, and I get buried up to my neck with one arm sticking out. So after that, I was always a bit cautious about crowds.
On the 2nd of January 1971, 66 people died and more than 200 were injured in a crash at Ibrox Stadium. It is the worst football disaster in Scottish history.
The disaster left a terrible scar on the city, I think.
Yes, it never leaves you.
No.
Following the disaster, safety standards were overhauled at sports grounds across the country. And after football attendance declined in the 1990s, the football tunnel was closed to the public. But this is just one of many tunnels in the Central Station network. Half a mile west of the station lies the Stobcross Tunnel, home of the Argyll line, one of Scotland's busiest. As part of the low-level closure, the track is currently undergoing major engineering works, and working on the £32 million project is engineer Tom.
It's good to be out on site and actually see the works that we spent so long planning and designing actually being implemented. And that is a key milestone in any project, and to see it actually happen is really exciting.
The line will be closed for 8 weeks while essential maintenance is carried out.
A lot of stuff happening in the next couple of weeks. We're ramping up now, everybody's into the swing of things. We've got a busy few weeks ahead, and then it'll be that tidy up session, so we're now in that kind of middle third of the job.
The engineers are starting work on a switch replacement in the tunnel, and in charge is Permanent Way Manager Anthony.
We'll get down, we'll get this cut and tank these rails out as quick as we can. These are the last 2 switches that we're going to be installing, hopefully this week. Existing ones will be coming out today.
Switch rails are the moving points of a crossing, used to guide trains safely from one track to another. They have to be replaced roughly every 25 years. The team only have 3 days to complete this job, and that will require some heavy machinery.
These rail transporters are able to pick up the rail. They're very, very mobile. They're very, very good at getting rail through tight spaces. They'll be lifting the old switches out and replacing them with the new switches. If it comes out easily, you're talking about maybe 15-20 minutes if you remove 2 switches.
Every element of the switch replacement has been planned around other works happening during the line closure. To stick to their tight schedule, by the end of today, the old switch rails must be gone.
We'll unscrew this, which will free up the rail from the existing rail that's behind it.
The team's pretty slick. Once they get going, this can happen quickly.
Base plates unscrewed, it's time to bring in the track rail transposer, a machine used to lift up the heavy rails.
The clamps at the back, they're attached to the underside of the rail. You will see that they've got special pads that they can put over the top of the rail that may get damaged, but they're fantastic.
The TRT machines use a powerful hydraulic system to lift up to 3 tons. And with each rail weighing 2.5 tons, they're perfectly built for the job.
That's just going to grab onto it on the web of the rail and lift it up by the head, and then it should just track out of here.
They start with the left-hand rail.
You can see here we're just lifting the first end of the switch. Should hopefully just lift right up over the poles.
But the lift doesn't quite go to plan.
Keep one more try.
Even with the full might of the TRT machine, the rail won't budge. The team resort to Plan B.
So what they're doing is they're using the bars just to help push it up and trying to straighten it off. The bolts coming out the slab have to be perfectly fitted. What's happened, it looks like there's a few that are just on the wonk, and that means as the rail's being lifted up, it's just causing a bit of resistance as it comes up.
But with a bit of gentle persuasion, the track comes away.
Just like that, 5 minutes in, 5 minutes to lift, 5 minutes out again. Yeah, good lift, all done. On to the next one.
And this time, Anthony is prepared for the sticky base plates.
Listen, mate, it should be all right. Just if you get a bar. Just make sure you've got a bar to hand, mate.
And once again, despite all the heavy machinery at their disposal, it's good old-fashioned muscle power which makes the difference.
Charles, go in.
It's the end of day one of the switch replacement, and both rails have been successfully removed, but the team's job is far from over.
The Argyll lines are still missing a bit of rail, and it's up to us to put it back. Like, yeah, we've got time in the programme and we've got plenty of space to do it, but now, as it stands, there's no rail through the centre of Glasgow. Rail has to be back here by the time this line opens.
Back at Central Station, well-behaved dogs are always welcome on the concourse. And they even get to travel free of charge. But today, one pup is on a special mission. Marvin is a new recruit with the British Transport Police.
We'll head out and see the public, Marv, will we? You going?
His handler, PC Raymond, is doing environment training with Marvin to expose him to brand new sights, sounds and smells, bringing him one step closer to becoming a fully fledged police dog.
Good boy. Yeah. Good boy. Sis, yeah.
He's getting used to being in the station, so now it's time to really put Marvin to the test up on the platform.
So we'll head up the front of this train for it going out in just about 7 or 8 minutes, just for something else. It's rushing past them, it's noisy.
If he's scared of trains, he won't make his mark as a BTP dog.
A wee bit unsure at first, but he's not shying away. He's had a look at it. Just keep him in a short lead so he can't put himself in any danger. Good boy, that's good. Well done, Marvin. Well done. I'll just come forward to show him there's nothing to worry about. We'll just watch it going by. Good boy. Excellent. Excellent.
With one passing train under his belt, Marvin needs to remain unfazed by the next one if he's to make the grade.
There we go. Good boy. Good man. Easy peasy. There we go. No bother, Marvin. Easy peasy. Let's pull him up. There we go. I won't label it too much and we'll just move off and keep it nice and light.
Marvin has passed the test with flying colours. If his training continues on track, Raymond hopes Marvin will learn all he needs to become a BTP explosive sniffer dog.
He's got a good natural ability. As you can see, he's nosy, inquisitive. He's sniffing everything. He's not specifically sniffing for anything at the moment. That's just the nature of the Springer Spaniel and Labrador that's in him.
After succeeding on the station concourse, Marvin is now ready for the next phase of his training, putting his nose to the test to sniff out explosives. To Today's location is a specialist test facility which will present a number of challenges for Marvin.
Some air, Marvin. Oh, I know. Hey, let's go.
2 concealed explosives have been hidden in the building for Marvin to find, but with other smells to contend with, it's not going to be easy for him.
The building's scented up and it has human scent on it, so that it's not what we call a dead building, a mishmash of smells, so that the dog has to work for it.
To get trainees like Marvin to this stage, tennis balls are used as a reward for a successful sniffing attempt, known as a find.
So the tennis ball's the thing they do all their work for. They don't do it for food or anything else, so they get the tennis ball and they get the praise of the handler.
If Marvin doesn't notice the explosives, then it could be the end of his training journey.
So you can see his eagerness to get in. He doesn't even know if there's anything there yet, but he's keen to go. So first thing we do is we'll just task him to something. Whether or not he goes, it's a different matter. Where? Good lad. And then just let him do his thing. That's him picked up a bit of the smell. Bang. Good boy! Yay! Just keeping your voice high-pitched and the woohoos and the whatever else. Just helps stimulate the dog and keeps their drive well up.
Marvin has been successful in the first test, but with the second set of explosives tucked away in a drawer, will he manage it again?
Good boy. Right, we'll go up the stair. Ready. Oh, he's a smart Alec. Yay! Nice. Good indication, nice pause. Too easy, Marvin, too easy.
Marvin has more training ahead, but passing this stage means he's well on the way to becoming the next BTP explosives dog.
Good boy, good boy.
As the number of passengers coming through the station increases, the station's bike racks have begun to fill up. The racks are intended for commuters to secure their bikes temporarily, but many bikes are abandoned and left taking up precious space on the racks. But customer service assistant Chris has found a solution.
If there's a bike it's been in the rack for a certain amount of days or weeks, we'll remove the bike to go downstairs for storage.
Once in storage, the bikes are kept safe in case their owners come to collect them.
There we go, thank you. So this has been here for about 3 months, so I think it's more than time to take it downstairs.
As well as helping commuters, Chris's project helps out a local charity.
I found out about Bikes for Good. Seemed to be a great charity and a great place. I think the first time we gave them about 70 bikes away.
Any bike left at the station for more than 6 months will be sent to the charity.
They'll salvage whatever parts that they've got, make into new bikes. Whatever parts that they can't fix or anything, they'll recycle those parts. Every single bit of the bike is actually used.
With up to 100 bikes abandoned at the station each year, Chris and his colleagues have already donated 200 bikes to charity.
At least I know they're going somewhere that's going to pay it forward. Everything is going up at the moment, so if we can help someone get a bike, where it's stripped down to its bare bones and recycled, or it's fixed up and it gets a new lease of life for somebody that really desperately needs it.
And just a few weeks later, it's time for the abandoned bikes to get collected. And Chris is devoting his lunch hour to the charitable cause.
We're just heading downstairs to where all the bikes are stored, and then we'll get them on the back of the van and away.
Bike for Good volunteers Charlie and Harry have come to collect the bikes.
There you go. So all these bikes are to go. Every single one you can see here.
Yeah, we'll try and fit them all in.
Okay.
Yeah, look great.
No problem. What we'll do, we'll start from here and then work our way back and everything. So we'll do that and get all the bikes out.
me to take it.
Oh, I reckon we can do 2 at once.
But with 70 bikes to fit in, it might be a tight squeeze in the van.
We might also stack some on top. We just don't know whether we'll be able to get them all in on one run or whether we'll have to come back. Who knows? Yeah, this is quite a big donation, and it's just gives us a lot more, and so we can provide a lot more bikes for the charity to use, to sell.
Bike for Good is Glasgow's biggest cycling charity.
Our aim is to change lives through cycling, being able to provide affordable bikes for people to use in the city, whether it be commuting or for leisure.
Avid cyclist Chris knows firsthand the difference this project could make to people across the city.
I struggle with mental health on a daily basis. Getting out on a bike and just cycling for a couple of hours, there's such great benefits to it. You know, just out there, you and the bike, cycling, it gives you time to think and everything. So, Charlie, we've only got another 400 trips to get all these bike trips. Halfway done, and yeah, I've got my 10,000 steps in the day, so.
But with good teamwork, they finally clear the storeroom.
I think these are the last 2. Are we going to make it?
They've just got one last bike to load, but the van is already looking full.
Here we are. Wow, that extra large frame is the last one, and they've just fitted in all of them. Thank you, Chris. Thanks, Paul. Thanks for coming in. Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Harry. Wonderful. It's great. Hopefully we'll see you again. Perfect.
And thanks to Chris, 70 bikes are off to find a new home. Back in the Stopcross tunnel, the civil engineering team is prepping the site ahead of the new switch rails being installed. The full site needs cleaned, as any dust or debris could seriously affect the positioning of the rails.
When we drop the rail in, it needs to sit flush with the concrete. If there's any high spots or anything like that, it'll sit up and cause the track to be out of alignment. We're just doing a survey on all the anchors, making sure there's no residue or resin or kind of high spots in the concrete. A lot of kind of preparation work's involved in this stage right now, so that's the kind of main job and task for today.
And Anthony is also back on site to make sure everything will be ready before the big install tomorrow.
All the rails out, ready for the new switch to drop in. We've made some marks on the rail here. This will denote exactly where the back of the switch is going to drop in. We've got 4 additional rails to put in at the back of the switch, which will fall roughly in this location, so we'll make these cuts today.
The team have to cut into the old remaining track to make way for the new sections of rail.
Want to double check it just before you make a cut, mate, right? So we've got, if you want to hold that at 5 metres, don't cut that yet.
And each cut has to be measured with precision accuracy.
That's exactly 9.144.
If the cut is even a few millimetres out, the new rails won't line up with the old track. The team are using a rail power cutter, which is specially designed to cleanly and quickly cut through rail track.
We've measured where the switches will land in the morning. We've measured where the additional 4 rails will land, and where they'll land is exactly where the guys are cutting today. The most important thing tomorrow will be getting the rails in and making sure they all fit.
Job done, and the site is now almost ready for the brand new section of rails.
It was always going to be a quieter day today. This is more a day for the civils guys to get in, clean up all the slab, check the bolts, make sure everything's ready for us to drop the switch in the morning. So tomorrow it'll be more hectic, but I'll take the quiet day today. Absolutely.
A lifelong fan of football, station historian Paul has been going to matches since he was a boy. He's travelled to Hampden to explore the historical connection between Glasgow Central and Scotland's national sport, and is meeting Hampden Museum curator Andy Kerr.
Andy, it's great to be sitting here in the National Stadium at Hampden Park, and I think we've got a big tie-up between ourselves and Glasgow Central Station and this place.
Absolutely. I mean, for years and years, it's been a fan's ritual to get the football special out from Glasgow Central towards either Mount Florida or to Kings Park. And, you know, even nowadays, when it doesn't necessarily have to be a football game, it can be a pop concert, it could even be an event that we've had here, such as the Commonwealth Games in 2014. It was just synonymous with going from Central out towards Mount Florida or Kings Park and coming here.
I think it's quite interesting as well that Central Station has changed throughout the years and Hampden Park itself has changed so much.
The first Hampden was built in 1873. It was the world's first ever purpose-built football ground, and it was only when the railway was built right through the middle of the first Hampden Park that they moved to the second Hampden Park, which is directly north of here, just up the hill at Cathkin Park.
The second Hampden Park was opened in 1884, but the number of fans attending internationals and cup finals outgrew the stadium. The third and current Hampden Park was built in 1903.
When this place was built, it was the largest stadium in the world, and the biggest crowd we ever had here was 149,415. That was for a Scotland-England game in 1937, where Scotland won 3-1. Glasgow, in the early part of the 20th century, we had the three largest football stadiums in the world in Hampden, Ibrox and Celtic Park. It was the working class man's game, and you had, you know, flat caps and bonnets everywhere. You know, nowadays we have crowds of around 50-odd thousand coming here, and it's still a challenge to get everybody here to Mount Florida and to Hampden Park from Glasgow Central.
I think the two places work in tandem with each other, and it's worked very well for a very long time, you know, getting the crowds into Central, getting them on trains, getting them across to yourselves, and then same again at the end of the games. It is still a big logistical operation on match day for us and yourselves.
This year, Hampden will host at least 18 domestic and international matches, with the crowds relying on station staff to get them there. Back at Central, the busy Easter weekend continues, and the team of dedicated staff are helping passengers move through the station, including one very special boy who is in for an Easter treat.
Josie, you've got a wee fella that loves trains and he's no one to go away, so have we got a wee train ticket or something?
Yeah, then he's going to get you to so many things. Here we go, there's a wee mix of things for you. What do you say? Can we say thank you? Well.
And Josie's enjoying the buzz in the station today.
It's actually really nice to see the station this busy for the first time in a long time. So it looks like things are going to start getting back to normal.
That's another happy customer. But for the police in the station, it's customer safety that's the priority. The British Transport Police is a special force which polices railways and is mostly funded by the rail industry. PC Laura has been working the beat at Central Station for 5 years.
Make sure everybody's getting through safely. Reassurance for the public, making sure everybody's getting to where they're going.
Laura's waiting on 600 Victorious Hearts fans arriving from Mount Florida.
So once they come through here, they'll be escorted over to Queen Street and then they'll make their way back to Edinburgh. But it's like any football and any event, anything could happen at any time. Enjoy the game, guys. Brilliant.
But seconds after the Hearts fans arrive, a train packed with Hibs supporters comes into the station, creating a potential clash point.
27 with the Hibs fan.
Platform 7's coming in with Hibs fan. Right now. Oh, excuse me, jacket. Oh.
Police rush to keep the two groups separate as they descend on the concourse.
up. So we had Hearts coming in platform 9 and 10 and Hibs coming in 7 and 8. So obviously we've made a wall in between them as they're walking down, just to get them safely out. So they'll make their way across with other officers and hopefully get their trains at Edinburgh and get themselves home.
Up at the platforms, Laura's colleague Joe has spotted some flags and makes his way to intercept the fans. But suddenly, a fight breaks out after a football scarf is thrown onto the tracks.
Can't you just push a police officer when I'm trying to break up a fight, OK?
This young man could be facing a serious charge.
They could have been coming with us for football-related violence against a police officer. All right? Consider yourself extremely lucky, because there's every chance there you could have been coming with us if we didn't have that brilliant thing called discretion.
Joe gives him the benefit of the doubt.
I really appreciate you doing that. I'm sorry.
Don't let the red mist descend, OK?
I lost my head, I'm sorry.
Right, OK.
It was a special scarf to me.
But it turns out that the scarf is really important to this chap. You know, his dad gave him it, and it's in relation to a game they went to years ago together. So that's kind of why we're going to try and get it back to him. So I think it was just a moment of madness. The red mist descends, but take him away from the crowd. Everything was fine. So on to the next.
Back on the concourse, a moment of calm descends across the station, but there's no let-up for Laura and Joe.
Excuse me, mate. How you doing? You all right?
Oh, sorry.
It's closed, mate. Did you pull that?
An enthusiastic musician has breached the barriers to the station's piano.
It's not, listen, it's all right, but see when these barriers are in and this is over, it's closed. But no, listen, nice playing.
You have a good night, fella. See you later.
You know, that guy seemed pretty good, didn't he? I didn't want to kind of outshine him. You know, I mean, he was doing a really good job, and then if I go on and start playing, it'd be like...
They're big sausage fingers.
Yeah, yeah. You know, 3 blind mice, that's as far as I go.
He was pretty good.
He was.
It's been a busy weekend for Laura and Joe, but they still have one last job to complete.
Howdy doody.
Hiya, how are you?
Yes, we're up to get the scarf. I believe the young man that had the scarf thrown onto the track.
Station staff retrieved the fan scarf from the track.
Thank you very much. We'll give him a call. Hopefully we can arrange to get him to pick up. Spoke to you yesterday. It's just to let you know that we've got your scarf here. If you could give me a call back, please. Hopefully he'll give us a call back and we can let him know the good news of the fact that we've got his scarf back, and we've got him a programme from the actual game in which his dad gave him that scarf. So it's a nice end to a story that could have went the opposite way for him, you know, so it's always good when things end like that.
Over at the CCTV centre in Paisley, they're also keeping an eye on football fans, and today it's Celtic and Rangers who are meeting at Hampden.
Boys in the shelter in platform 2. Your images are being recorded and monitored at all times. Put the illegal drugs away.
Hiya, we've got a fight in platform 2 at High Street.
There's one male lying flat on his back.
Claire is the manager on the late shift.
We're currently monitoring Mount Florida Station, Kings Park, Cross Hill for the football fans coming out. So all happening at the one time.
You need assistance, can you come to the help point?
Every ScotRail station has help points where passengers can speak directly to an advisor to ask for help or report anything suspicious. There are nearly 600 help points throughout the network, and Alex is using this one at Crossmaloof to talk to a young passenger.
If you can't walk and you can't get up off the floor, you can't go on the train, are you needing assistance? Do you need an ambulance or anything?
The boy's friend is unconscious in the platform shelter.
Is he drunk, Alex?
Yeah, he thinks he's drunk.
We're going to phone the British Transport Police and the signalling centre just in case he stumbles onto the track. So they'll caution the trains through at a very slow speed so that not to hit him.
The drunk teen could be in danger, but Alex is trying to get him to safety.
Just make sure that your friend stays in the shelter there. You don't want him wandering on the platform, OK? I'll keep an eye on these 2 boys and make sure that they're safe just now. Until the police turn up. Just get another look at his friend there again. At least he's sat up, that's a good sign.
Alex continues to watch on the camera in case the young boy's condition deteriorates.
I says, your friend's not in the best of way in there. He might be better if you go and sit with him just to make sure he's okay. I'll call you back to the help point when I need you, okay? All right, mate. You go and sit with him. Me being a dad myself, I mean, I've got a boy and a girl, and I don't like seeing kids like this just getting wasted and sitting about stations. You know, it's heartbreaking at times.
But help has arrived.
Police are there. I see them on site.
Is police on site now?
Yeah, they're on site. It's good to see the police are there. I'll be happy when they're out of the station, for the boys' safety and obviously for the rest of the passengers as well. So, because I don't want to see somebody sitting in the station being sick. The boys in no state to run a train.
Thanks to Alex's intervention, the young lads are safely escorted away from the station. Outside Glasgow, one of the Network Rail bridges is in need of crucial repairs, but there's a problem. There have been reports of peregrine falcons nesting on the structure. And so Network Rail environmental specialist Laura is meeting with countryside ranger Jackie to investigate.
We can hopefully have a look over at the bridge and see if we can see the nest and see if there's any birds on it, if it's active.
There is a strong possibility that we will come across evidence of them actually nesting at this very moment in time.
Jackie suspects the nest is being used by a pair of peregrine falcons, a rare and protected species.
Those birds are a Schedule 1 species, so they're offered the highest level of legal protection. So we have to ensure that any works we're planning don't impact the birds, they don't disturb them. And so if we do find that there's birds nesting there, in particular this species, then we're going to have to plan our works around their nesting activity.
First, Laura needs to confirm if the nest is being used. If it is, the works on the bridge can't go ahead. But the nest is proving difficult to spot.
No, not seen anything yet.
So do we think it's right through this line of trees here then?
Jackie and Laura think they've identified the nest, but there's no evidence that it's in use.
From this angle, as we're looking up onto the structure, there could be a chance that there is a bird on the nest and they're sitting quite low down, so it could just be that there is a bird there, but we just can't see it from this angle. So we want to get a better view of that nest, perhaps more of an aerial view, so that we can see down onto the nest and see if there is a bird there.
Laura heads to Cumbernauld Airport, the base of Network Rail's helicopter operations team led by aerial survey specialist Sean.
We have been asked by Network Rail's ecology team to see if there is a peregrine falcon nesting. So we're going to take the ecologist up with us because we're going that way at any rate. So it makes sense for us to, excuse the pun, but to kill two birds with one stone. As we're flying past, we can have a look.
How you doing, Laura? All right?
Yeah, not bad.
On board, Sean is operating a long lens camera, which Laura can monitor from a screen in the back.
This is really good for looking for animals. We can see rabbits and squirrels and all sorts with this.
Yeah, the camera is so clear.
And there you go, that's a herd of cattle.
Yep.
And what I can do is I can just do that. That's it. Now that camera will not move from that spot.
Wow.
And then what we can do is zoom in, and there we go.
That's incredible how clear that is. Yeah, so if we do get to the structure and the birds are on the nest, that's just going to be able to pick them up so easily.
Let's see what we can do.
Perfect.
So if you look at the water, where the water runs into those trees,
yep.
The bridge is just amongst those trees there,
okay.
on the nose.
It is there, it's just this side, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's your bridge,
wow.
Come up on the screen now. So let's start zooming in from this distance.
The camera can zoom in from up to a mile away, so the helicopter doesn't get close to the nest.
Just have a scan along. There's your nest.
Yep.
Right there.
Nest. Yeah, I think she's definitely doing something, but shuffling about. It's definitely nested.
This is the evidence Laura was after.
The first thing we wanted to look for was that the nest was active and there was a bird there. So at the moment it looks like the female bird is potentially sitting on some eggs. Can't seem to see any fledglings at the moment.
Are you happy with what you've seen there?
Yeah, I think it's been so useful to be able to get such a clear image of the structure at such distance where we're not disturbing the birds, but now we know they're there, we know where they're nested. This has been really, really useful to just get a bird's eye image almost of the nest.
Okay, switching off the camera.
With suspicions confirmed, no work can happen on the bridge just yet. Laura needs a plan for next season's nesting, so work won't be further delayed.
What we're going to do is look at providing some alternative nesting sites near to the structure, so it's still within their territory where they're likely to come back to nest.
Laura is back with countryside ranger Jackie to get more information.
So do you think there's anything suitable in the kind of immediate surrounding area?
They own this in relation to territory, so any nesting opportunity within that territory is going to be very attractive to them. Maybe if somebody put up some sort of structure high up on a big fork on a tree, they would maybe go for it, and I certainly think it may be worth trying something like that.
Okay.
With Jackie's approval, Laura can now put everything in place to ensure the peregrine falcons will have alternate nesting options when they return next year.
Kind of next steps now is to obviously let the birds nest peacefully, and once they've completed their nesting season, the works will begin, and in between that time as well, the ecologists will have a think about alternative nesting options and look at where they could put them in the area. We're able to proceed with the works as planned, and while also able to support local biodiversity by providing alternative nest sites for the falcons next nest season.
Like birds of a feather, this pair always stick together. Train enthusiast Bobby is at Lanark Station with wife Jane for a very special surprise.
There you are, dear. Happy birthday. This is all part of it.
All right. So where am I going? Glasgow Central?
We're going on the Central tour.
As in the tour that I watch on the telly all the time?
Yes.
How on earth did you manage to arrange that?
Happy birthday, dear.
Jane has arranged the surprise tour for husband Bobby's 70th birthday.
Total surprise this, so I don't know how you thought of this or where you got, how you managed to arrange it, but
Right.
can only thank you. We're looking forward to my day now. Here we go then.
We're on our way now.
Oh, dearie
so
me.
you can enjoy your day.
But before he arrives into Central, there's one more surprise for Bobby.
Happy 70th birthday. Join your day with Jane and the Glasgow Central team.
Hey!
Thank you. Oh dear. You didn't miss anything, did you?
Yeah.
At the station, Paul and Jackie are waiting to greet the birthday boy.
I think I can see him coming. Oh, he's going to get a wee surprise. Oh, I like this. Hello there, Bobby.
Now, where have I seen you before? Where have I seen you before?
How are we doing? How are we doing?
I certainly have.
Hello, Jane. Nice to meet you.
I'm pleased to meet you, say. Aye, super.
How are you? Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. A birthday boy.
Well, a wee surprise for you. Quick.
And the surprises keep coming.
Jesus.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. I even got it in the train coming in as well.
Yeah, we know.
Bobby has been passionate about trains since he was a boy.
I believe you like the railway?
I certainly do. Where I lived in Innerleithen, the railway used to go right past my mum's back garden. And all my summer holidays I spent at the station at the food stores loading the flour onto trains, the goods trains, and I used to go to the station and do the gates for them when they watch for the right. When you go and used to open all the gates for the trains coming and.
So lots of good memories.
Oh, definitely, brilliant.
Oh,
aye,
brilliant.
definitely.
Your tour's starting at 11 o'clock, so come back maybe about 5 or 10 to. Just over here.
just unbelievable. They announced my birthday on the train and everybody applauds. And then when I saw my name on the board there, you could see everybody, oh, that's him. So, stardom. Absolutely brilliant.
It's been an exciting morning already, and now the pair head off to celebrate Bobby's birthday Glasgow Central style. In the Stobcross Tunnel, it's the big day of the renovation project. Today, 2 new switch rails will be installed on the Argyll line, but they only have a few hours to complete the job.
The guys finish their shift at 5 o'clock today, so we've got just under 3 hours now to get the 2 switches in. We should be okay. We've done a lot of enabling work. We're on the ball just now, so I think we'll be just within time to get these in. But there's a wee bit of pressure on us now for the next couple of hours. I'm still confident that before close of play today, we'll get all the steel work in and we'll be able to walk away from this.
Engineer Tom is also on site to make sure the install stays on schedule.
It's indeed the moment of truth. We'll see if all the hard work pays off. How confident are you it's going to go in first time?
I'm very confident. I've used up all my energy, I think, for this afternoon.
Got a spare whisper powder if you want.
Yeah, I'm all right, I'll be fine. Once the track's in and we've got it all plated up, I think then we'll breathe a sigh of relief. I think the guys should be proud of themselves. They've done a great job for us. From a track perspective, this is our biggest day today, get the final pieces of the puzzle in place.
As the TRT machine arrives with a first switch rail, there's just time for one last tidy up.
They've cleaned the bottom of the base plates, they've cleaned the pads, so what we don't want to do is have any stones or bits of material in between that and the base plate, because that's going to cause it to rock slightly. So they've just cleaned the pads, and now they're going to lift it onto the bolts which have been cast into the slab track, and then it's going to go in.
The TRT machine is used to line the switch rail up with the bolts in the base plates.
What they're doing there is they're moving the machine components just to nudge it slightly backwards and forwards. So although it looks quite easy, it's much more complex, because if you nudge it too much, it will fall out of alignment. It probably looks a lot easier than it is. There's a lot of fine-tuning, a lot of finesse and a lot of skill of the machine operators to get the rail at both ends lined up with the bolts.
But despite all the hard work and preparations, the switch doesn't quite line up. But Anthony comes up with a plan.
What I need you to do, boys are going to lift the rail up, right? We're going to lift this base plate up, let the guys lower it down slowly, cut the base plate in over the foot of the rail and let it drop back down the hole.
With all hands on deck, the team will carefully try to adjust the base plates and manoeuvre the switch into position.
Right, 2 easy, get up, now you go together. Up, up, up. Keep your hands above the time hold in here, right?
It's a 2-ton bit of steel, so it's resting on one of the bolts or any plates, and it suddenly jumps down. You don't have people in the way of that.
Right, you want to get down slow at that? Hey, you let that go, Andy.
But it's a really heavy bit of kit, and you don't want to forget that. You don't want to forget that it can be dangerous.
You go, right, that's all right. Tricked in, right, that's us.
And it's in. With the switch in place over the bolts, it now needs to be aligned with the adjoining section of track. But there's another problem.
It's catching. It's because it's coming down at an angle. I can either bring the other machine up and lower it down together, or we can just take another trim off this.
Anthony brings in the power cutter to shave off another section of the rail.
It's all right, it's not catastrophic, it's fine. We're talking about literally a bit of balancing over there.
I see it. Where the 2 bits of rail are meeting, we want to get it as close together as possible for the welders when they come in, because we don't want to leave a big gap. But what we're doing now is we're lifting the switch rail down, and the way it's coming at an angle is just clipping the bottom of the existing rail. So they're just trying to get that aligned, which is taking a bit of time.
Try and put a bit of pressure on that, mate. Just a cut them all that way. Lift again. That's it, needs to rotate. We're in. That's us.
It's taken the team an hour, but the first switch rail is in position.
It does it in your time. It might only be 5 or 10 minutes, but if you've got a couple of things, a couple of similar issues, right, they 5-10 minutes build up. And as you can see now, that's probably cost us maybe about half an hour. So I think half an hour ago we were in a good place. We were dropping the switch in. We messed about a wee bit. Main thing was getting the switch into position. That's pretty much bang on, so I'm happy with that.
Only 90 minutes before they're due to leave site, the TRT machines bring in the second rail. And Anthony is doing everything he can to avoid going over schedule.
See with this one, can we try and maybe try and lower it down the girder once we make the cuts? And that'll avoid the kind coming down at an angle, see if it helps us with the bolts. Aye, so you want to take it first in situ, pull the blade out, get the bolts out, lift it back up, put the plates on. Right, okay, that's fine. Hey guys, need 4 of these in. That way. Drop them down, watch fingers out. That's one here. Aye, just a wee tap.
Just a bit of fine tuning.
Both switch rails are successfully in position.
There you go. Second one went in half the time. So that's it. Next step's to weld it, which is going to take place next week. And then that'll be the up road completed.
But there are still several weeks of engineering works before the Argyll line reopens.
It's been a good effort. There was, as you've seen there, a couple of hurdles to overcome, but that's generally what happens. It would be very, very rare that they would drop in perfectly. As I say, you were talking millimetres there for that switch to drop in, and it's very easily rectified on site.
With the switch installation complete, the team will weld the joins and do final checks and a clean-up before leaving Stobcross Tunnel.
I'm over the moon with the work everybody's put in. I think you've seen for yourselves, guys, you've put in a great shift. I don't know if we'll celebrate, but I'll maybe try and get a couple of days off now, spend with the family, relax, recharge the batteries. But in this industry, as Tom will allude to, it's non-stop. There's always another job round the corner. This was a big one for us. It's very, very happy that it's been in successfully.
Next time on Inside Central Station.
Oh my goodness, look at all these people. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is the biggest tour I've ever done. Come on, gather round.
I've had to evacuate the building now. Just let the air circulate again, get rid of the carbon monoxide. So that we could be out here now for at least an hour to 2 hours. So that's a bit of time off us again.